Hi crypto kings and queens, welcome to my channel. My name is Natalie. In today's episode we will go through Bitcoin, Solana and Ethereum. We can see that the market definitely came back and closed above this resistance trend line. We are right now at the previous lower low that we're having around 41,500. After this we just might potentially see the market coming up to 47,700 or potentially come back down to 30k. I will show you exactly why I do believe this will happen, but I also think that during this weekend I think we will see the market not doing so much. Remember that I am no financial advisor. You need to look up everything yourself first, but please continue looking at this video and I'll show you exactly why I do believe that I have to wait for the market either to break the support trend line to see the market coming back down to 30k, or what potentially can happen and why we're even looking at 47,700. We're looking at Bitcoin on the daily chart. As we can see, the market definitely closed above this resistance trend line that we were speaking about yesterday, and we came up to this previous lower low that we're having around 41,600. And right now it is the weekend, so we could potentially just wait for the market to start next week and see some momentum. But if we are seeing the market continuing to the upside, the next target that I'm having will be around 47,700 because that is the last month's high. But if we're seeing the market now breaking to the downside, because guys, we are still in a downtrend because the last lower high is around 44,700, so we are still in a downtrend. So this could just be potentially a lower high, and if I would do anything, I would wait for the market. If we see the momentum to the downside, I want to see the break of the support trend line, potentially a retest, and then I see the first target the market can come back down to is 30,000. We are right now retesting this previous lower low, and either we're continuing back down or we are continuing back up to 47,700. If you are not following us on Twitter, we on Bitcoinsensus is having a Twitter account, and yesterday I did analyze this about Solana. Solana can potentially create a higher low at around 100. After that it could bounce back up to the Fibonacci levels 50 and 61.8% at 118 and 126. As you can see, it says 180. It's not 180, it is 118, so that was just me doing wrong. But if we're going to the charts right now, this was exactly what happened. So we almost came back down 100, as you can see right here, and we saw the market now we just touched 118 so perfectly on Solana. And right now the overall picture, I still believe that we can have some momentum to the upside. We do have a other high right here at 110 that we can see market coming back down to and retest. The market is still creating high highs and higher lows, and the Fibonacci levels is because I want to see if we are coming to these levels to see the market then breaking to the downside, because the overall picture of the market is still in a downtrend. But we just might see a little more push to the upside. We could potentially also come back up to this resistance trend line that we're having. If that is the case, we will break these Fibonacci levels, and we just might potentially see the market trying to break the weekly trend line. And if we're coming to this level, we always have to make sure that we're not trying to buy the market as much as we can, because when you're coming to a weekly resistance trend line, usually what happens is the market bounces to the downside, and if you're going long and have no clue about what you're doing, you will probably be in a drawdown. And if you're not using risk management and you're trading with your emotions, almost 100% probably you will lose the money on your account. You will feel bad, and that is just an answer for you that you should not do that the next time. So that's why it goes back to you have to understand what you're looking at the chart. So I'm just giving you all of these different levels, and whatever the market is doing against them, as long as we know that these levels are very, very important for us to look at. So if we are seeing the market now breaking to the downside, the targets that I'm having on Solana will be around 75 and around 44. Going to the higher time frames, you will understand why, because the market is creating a lower high, and for the market to create a lower low, we need to surpass this previous lower low, and that is why we could potentially come back down to 75. 44 is only if we see the market still having huge momentum, but we can definitely just come to 75 and then potentially see the bounce again. And we're just waiting for the market to do this, but by just following everything that the chart is giving us, we just potentially see the market now retesting the Fibonacci levels or the trend line and then bounce to the downside. If we are seeing the break to the upside, no problem. We're just following what the market is doing, and then we're just trying to find where we can buy the market. And we need to break this previous lower high for us to definitely see the market breaking to the upside, because if we're just coming to potentially this last high that we're having, that is the last lower high, that is also the last monthly high, we have to break that level. We have to come back down and see the market creating a high low for us to be 100% sure that the market actually is reversing the trend. Because as long as we are below these levels, we can expect the market to just bounce back down again. So we need to have these confirmations. The trades that I did have on MATIC went to my stop loss, but I did have my stop loss slightly below the entry, so I was still in profit. But if we're looking at Ethereum, and this is the Bybit chart that we're using. I'm just gonna take a bigger one. But if we're looking at Ethereum, where same thing that we're having on Bitcoin, but right now we are still below the trend line. We just might see the push to the upside, but we are still having the last lower high around 3,380. If we are taking a Fibonacci from the highest point to the lowest point, we are right now above the 61%, but we are combining that with the trend line. So if we are potentially see the market reversing back down, I still want to see the market breaking the support trend line that we're having, so we're not getting faked out. So the market definitely need to break the support trend line if I'm even considering selling the market, because right now we can see a bounce to the upside up to 3,300, and after that either we are breaking to the downside at that point or we're actually breaking it. So at the moment I'm just taking a step back. I want to see what the market is doing. I still want to use the higher time frames to see certain levels that we need to break before I'm actually going into a trade, because looking at the lower time frames, we are still creating higher highs and higher lows. We are right now coming up to this trend line, as you guys can see. We just might see a small push to the downside, then market tries to break it, coming up to this higher time frames target that I did have on the last lower high that we can see on the higher time frame. So at the moment I'm just taking a step back. A lot of things can happen, but I still believe that during the weekend I think it will be very calm, and I think a lot of people who is looking for trades will get faked out because the market will not do anything special. I don't believe that we will see huge momentum. We usually see that on Fridays, and then the market is very slow on during the weekends, and a lot of people want to trade all the time and don't understand that the market is just faking everyone out, and you are losing money. And then when Monday, Tuesday opens at the beginning of the week, a lot of things starts to happen, and at that point you will not have money left because you've been trading them during the weekend. And that is why I'm also taking a step back. Remember that on Bybit you can also receive a bonus up to $4,100 if you're using the link in the description down below this video. It obviously depends on how much you're depositing to your account. Good thing about Bybit is that when you're holding your positions for a longer time, you will have very low fees, and you are also supporting Bitcoinsensus channel by doing that. So we are always able to sit here together with you and show you what we see on the charts. Thank you so much guys for looking at this video. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment below if you also did enjoy it, or maybe if you didn't. All comments is good, right? Subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications so you always know when I'm having my live stream or when I'm having my daily updates. Otherwise than that, I hope you will have a great weekend, and we'll see each other in later today's live stream. From Sweden.